I like talking to customers. I like getting to know customers. Trying to find something in common.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Connections That Matter. My name is Andrew Johnson, and I love having conversations with Northern Colorado's best networkers. Today, we got Thomas Kern from Kern Painting, LLC on the show. Thomas, you have been networking a long time. Excited to have you share today.
Yeah, I guess I have been. So, it's 10, 15 years I've been networking off and on. Yeah.
Well, one of the things that I was like that analogy of when was the best time to plant an oak tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. It's cool to see the people who are picking up networking and seeing the results they get. It's also really cool to see the people who've been networking for over a decade and where it's led to them.
Yeah, house painting, there was nobody networking when I started. And now when I go to a group, there might be 3-4 house painters, owners networking now. So it's changed quite a bit, Really
cool. Well, tell us about Kern Painting, because you're not your average painter. You do some things that are very unique, very exceptional. And tell us a little bit about how you got to where you are today.
I started at 14 with a 4-inch brush, oil paint, no tarps, exterior, go as fast as you can, do not drip. So I learned to clean up myself very fast. You did not let that drip, that oil paint, rest at all because you had to clean it up. And then I grew up in Minnesota, so started there and then painted in Iowa and Michigan and Hawaii and Oklahoma and Alaska and all over the place. And just kept working with other painters, worked for somebody else, and then kept growing my business as I was going along. And it's a business of hard knocks. You learn as you go, no business degree, and then when I needed something, I would go, okay, I need to learn this. So I go learn it, constantly.
How much has the painting business changed since back in when you were 14? I mean, the chemistry of paint's changed quite a bit, right?
That's changed a lot from oil to latex to really good latex paints to there were good oil primers. Now all the solvents are gone. So now all the oil is really kind of out, completely out. As far as the business goes, it hasn't changed a lot. I'd say the demeanor of the contractors has changed a little bit. It's not so rough where they're throwing tools at you or swearing at you as much as they used to. That still comes up every once in a while. But it hasn't changed a whole lot, although we've gone from brush to roll to spray. That's been the techniques have advanced a lot. And the finishes have changed. They're much smoother finishes. Stuff like that. Yeah, but as far as contractors goes, they haven't changed a whole lot.
Is it as much about the paint or is it much about the people? Like, do you feel like it's a people business?
It's a people business and it's a prep business. It's people because it's about the customer service. It's about the people you are servicing and talking to them and educating them on what it is they really don't. They think, because of the DIY, because of all those stores, they think that they can paint. And, you have to teach them, well, look, you need to do this step and this step and this step. And it's a lot of prep. And we cover the floors and we paper everything and we mask everything and we caulk everything over and over. And if we're touching the surface 5 or 6 times, every surface that we see, we're touching it over and over and over again. That's the education part. You need to teach them about that. You need to teach them that prices have gone up, that they won't ever go down. And then finding the right people to do that, finding the right crews that understand that, yes, we're detail oriented. Yes, we're going to have to slow down at the end of the job. So I just say I'm a teacher. I'm teaching people how to paint, how to handle the customer, and most of them I say, just make sure you talk to Thomas. They know what they're supposed to do. I know what I'm supposed to do. Talk to Thomas. And I like talking to customers. I like getting to know customers, trying to find something in common with them. And in Colorado, a lot of them are not originally from the state, or they are from the state, and you got to find some commonplace with them. So that has changed a bit. Usually people just wanted you to paint. They just said, shake my hand. You're going to do what I'm going to do. I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do. Pay me at the end. That's what it used to be like, and that's no longer. Yeah, very rare. So
Plus those long-term clients, though, that maybe it's still like that, right? The ones that you've come back to over and over again.
Yes, all our repeat customers, they know what I do.
Yeah.
They know what I can do. They just say, hey, do it, tell me what it's going to cost, and then they also know that I'll come back to them and say, hey, we found this. We moved your dresser drawers and there's a big hole behind it. Do you want it fixed? So they know I'm going to come back to them and talk to them. They know I'm going to communicate with them. They know that, and so they can trust that. They know that I'm going to keep doing the same thing over and over again. Consistency. People like consistency a lot. And it's hard to see nowadays.
Sure.
So,
well, I was thinking about, networking for the trades, like any business where you're actually in people's homes. So there's a different level of trust if I'm getting a referral. It's not just somebody transactions something. If I'm referring somebody, it's somebody that might come in there, or maybe their wife's at home or their kids are at home, and bring somebody in there. Talk to me about your referral partners and how you've gotten them to be able to recommend you over any of the other painting companies in Northern Colorado.
They usually see my work. I think that's one other thing. They see how I do treat the customer. I consider every customer I meet an interview, and I have to find something in common with them, and I have to relate to them, and so they can trust me coming in their home. I mean, we've had a number of customers that will I have to be there. And I said, well, that's fine if you feel comfortable. But then the referral partners, they usually see our work, or they usually get to know me. I know all my referral partners. We're doing a job right now that we just finished, and I had to call the electrician because the customer's exterior junction box and all the stuff was in a 4x3 paneled area with siding on it. And I'm like, oh, this is scary. And it had a piece of conduit coming in top, and you could see it was going to leak in there. And so I called my electrician, and the customer right away was like, okay, this is the person you trust. I'm like, yeah. And we pulled that work, and it's all illegal. It helps completely redone. But he knew I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. He knows that I know his business. He knows my business. So that's a long-term thing. I've known that person for 3 years now. We've talked on the phone weekly. So he knows what I'm doing, and I'll tell him what I want, what I'm looking for, and he tells me what he's looking for all the time. And it's communication. It's constant. I'm constant talking to people. My wife is like, you just love to talk to people. And I'm like, that's my job.
Yeah. Well, how many of your clients, Thomas, enjoy the work? Because I see a lot of people, they wait until they're about to sell the house, they're about to move out, then they go in and paint it, and it's like, whoa, they could have been living in it, looking this nice.
Yes.
Maybe they had the oak outdated cabinets, and now they have the one that's going to sell well. But what do you see for trends? When are people deciding to paint, or do you got a good mix of people who are updating versus trying to just do it for a real estate transaction?
Most people wait too long.
Yeah, totally.
Most people, they do. They wait. Exteriors, it's recommended every 8 years. It's average in Colorado, it's 13. So usually there's replacement, and they go in their garages. They don't walk in the front door. It's just the way people are. You hit your garage door button, you walk in, you don't pay attention. My job is to go see it. They usually are waiting. They usually are selling. Yeah, they want to freshen it up. When you're selling, as long as it's clean, you don't need to paint. And I walk through many houses with realtors and say, look, ignore the ceilings. Let's wash the baseboards or have somebody wash them. It's, and then we got this wall or this wall. So a lot of times it's waiting. Some people are tired of the color. It's faded. They're tired of looking at that purple accent or that red accent wall, and they just want it gone. Or it's the opposite. They want an accent wall.
Yeah.
I get called and say, hey, can you do this accent wall for me? I'm like, yeah, sure. And it doesn't matter how small or big the job is. We're happy to do it because you get to see our work. But they definitely wait unless it's a remodel. And then it's part of the remodel process. Like we have one that's taking down all the popcorn ceilings.
Yeah.
And retexturing.
Talk to me about your pricing. When I went into Sherwin-Williams, I was amazed at like their builder grade A100 or whatever it is versus their top of the line paint. The price point per gallon is significantly different.
Yes.
I would imagine there's some level of, I know like on drywall, there's a level 5 finish where it's smooth. There's a lot more prep, a lot more stuff too. So there's the product that you're putting on, and then there's also the level of details that you're putting on. How do you match that to the client's expectations?
I usually talk to them about the different grades of paint. And I say, okay, we don't do low quality paint. If that's what we want, you can, but I can't guarantee any of it. And I also say your sheen always needs to be eggshell on the walls or higher, like satin in kitchens and bathrooms. Ceiling, you can go flat, and that's fine. I always recommend a higher quality paint. I also give them the option of the top quality paint. And the other thing I say to them is, look, I'm not charging you the retail price. A lot of painters do. I know that they do. I'm not interested. The price I get is the price you get. So you get my contractor's price, and what do you have? Like if you have a lot of children.
Something scrubbable.
Yeah, we need something that you can clean well. Flat doesn't clean. Matte finishes don't clean. This quality paint won't last you as long. So it depends on what you want. Do you want to have to paint again in 2-3 years? Then you're going to pay for it. I said, let's make it last. My job is to eliminate my job. So you can just wash it and then you can be done. So I always am going for, let's do higher quality so you eliminate me coming back again. Because it's become expensive.
Sure.
Painting is expensive. And when I talk to people, they're like, your prices are reasonable, but it's expensive. I said, I know. I understand that.
There's nothing like a fresh coat of paint, though, to liven up a space or create different moods or environments.
It makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
People are so happy. And when I paint exteriors, I ask the customer, hey, did you drive past your house when we had it painted? And they're like, yeah, I didn't even know it was there. So it makes a huge difference and I'm more of a practical person. So I'm like, okay, now we know it's going to last. Your wood's not going to warp. You're not going to have issues with your cleaning your wood inside, or cleaning the doors. It's going to just wipe right off. So I'm looking at that, but yeah, it makes a huge difference. People are so happy. We had a lady that had her husband died many years ago, and she still hadn't moved on. And it was still really difficult for her. And we painted her in the interior house, and she was able to get rid of furniture and move on. It made a huge difference in her life. Now, that doesn't happen a lot, but sometimes I say I am a therapist. People do process things with the painting job.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's really funny because I'm like, it's just paint.
It's just paint, but I don't know, they come up with like Pantone colors of the year. Like colors have meanings now. Like maybe it's deeper than, Thomas, like when I'm talking about colors, my box of crayons is like 16 colors. When my wife talks about crayons, she's got like one of those 256 box of crayons, knowing the right sheen, the right thing.
Yeah. And in tone, I can tell tones, so I'll say, Les, this is not going to work with your fireplace, or it's not going to work with your trim right now. And what color carpets you got going on, or if you're putting new carpets in, we need to check the color. And, a friend of mine 10 years ago said, look, you're a color expert. You've been staring at color for 44 years. You're a color expert. So, yeah, I am. I do. It does make a difference, and it makes people happy to have the right color. It really does to them. And that is a bonus of painting for us. You know, if people love it and really enjoy it, that's a big bonus. And I will call people and say, hey, how's your painting? What did you think? And how are things going? And they're like, I love the color. I just love the color. And I'm the process guy. I'm thinking about the process, how we tape, how we caulk, how the lines, stuff like that. Is there enough coats on it? Did it cover well? That's because I'm the owner, and that's my job.
You got to stand behind the work.
Yeah.
And in a referral sense, too, obviously you have your own business reputation, but it's not like you'd had one transaction. It's not like you go to a restaurant, maybe had bad service. If you don't like your paint job, you're living in the house, you're seeing it consistently.
Yes.
And so like that referral or that job well done lives on beyond the time of service.
Yes. And that matters so much to me. I mean, I'm a person who sees in pictures. I don't see in words. So I will wake up in the morning and go, oh, shoot, that piece of tape wasn't taken off that window. And I have that picture in my head. And it drives me crazy. And I'm like, because we're consistent, we're big on consistency and our integrity. So I want to make sure everything looks fantastic, looks clean and even. And you look down the side of a wall, and if you can see a roller mark, I'm like, nope, we got to fix that. So that makes a big deal to me. And it's smooth. I don't want any grit in it. I have a bad paint story every week.
Yeah.
So people will come in and spray, and they'll spray without cleaning the floor, like it's a construction area, and it will push the grit the dirt right into the baseboard, and it'll become like sandpaper. And we've gone into houses and re-sanded everything just to fix it. I call that fixing other people's problems. So, which I don't mind doing, but it's a lot more work. It's a lot more labor. So
let's talk about networking. And so where are the arenas in Northern Colorado that you're networking? What groups do you attend, or meetups do you attend?
Well,
which ones would you recommend to other Northern Colorado business owners?
Well, the one we do, networking in action, has been really good. And I like the opening ones because we go to different places. I meet a lot of different people. I call it the circuit. There's certain networking groups that you go to and you see the same people, and you go, hey, I saw you yesterday. Hey, I saw you yesterday. So I really like those open ones. I've had a lot of success at Tabletop networking.
Sure.
I found that a very good value. Also done, I'm better with the once a month ones, not the every week ones. Those are hard. As a house painter, you get a call. They need paint, or you get a call, or a customer wants you to look at something, hey, we found a problem. So, or we just want to meet you, can you come down? I want to go through this, So those once a month help me better. So then also Sure Networking is a local one in Northern Colorado that's been really good. A lot of people there, a lot of different things. There was one other I was thinking about, but those are three that I do really well in, I think really well. But again, it's developing the relationship.
Yeah.
It takes time. You got to put a year or two in before sometimes you see any results, because you got to develop that relationship. Oh, Level Up Networking.
Oh, yeah.
I spoke there the other week for my other business, and that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, and the group enjoyed it. So that's when it's fun.
Well, this, like the Tabletop or the next level events that we do, there's a speed networking component to that, right? You get a little mini one-to-one, a little tease. So what is your approach to leave a good impression on the person that you're networking with? And then what do you like to see if you're paired up with somebody that somebody else could do that would land really well with you?
Well, I always shake their hand. I think that's important. I think it's interesting. And sometimes I make it funny about, give me a little harder grip. Shake my hand a little harder. I mean, so that's kind of my introduction, and I ask them what they do. And I always try to find out something we have in common, so that helps. Or, and then try to get them to tell me about themselves. I want a little bit information, and I hold on to at least one detail. So when I see them the next time, I bring up that detail. I know I have one in my head for you that I always bring up every single time, because that means that you're paying attention and that you care a little bit about what their life is like. So you're not just going, hey, I'm a painter. Here's my card. Here's my card. Here's my card. So there are tons of painters out there. There are painters. You see them all day. So what makes me unique? Am I paying attention to you? And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I understand. I don't take it personal. I'm like, okay, let's go move to the next one. But I think learning something about that person is always good. I mean, you learn all kinds of crazy stuff that you didn't even expect.
Yeah.
Some people are bodyguards for people, or they were, they did, before this life, they ran a bar. And I'm like, really? Okay. No clue that I have. People are interesting. You just got to dig a little bit.
Yeah. So who are you seeking out at these events? Are there other people in the trades, real estate industries, or are you open to a wide variety of professionals?
I will talk to anybody. I have no problem with that. I mean, my best are roofers, property managers, realtors. Those property managers are repeat business. If we can get them, I've done this for so long. I know how to work the process so they're not doing 100 buildings at once. Do a couple every year. That maintains them, slows down your cost, all that. So those are who I look for. Oddly enough, every once in a while, there'll be someone that just refers me a lot. It'll be a chiropractor, and I'm like, how'd that happen? I mean, other than I can think that they see a lot of people every day.
Sure.
One of my best repeat clients was from a chiropractor. She still calls me. I saw her the other day and she's like, we need to do some more touch up. So, I'm open to anybody. But the trades obviously are a plumber, they're going to cut holes in walls. An electrician is going to cut holes in walls. They're going to need the drywall. They're going to need the texture. They're going to need the painting. So that's covers about all of them.
How much of painting is planned? I mean, I've had some of my rentals, all of a sudden like a condensate line and I get some water damage. They got to pull things out, dry it up, and then fix it. And all of a sudden I'm painting again, right?
Yeah. The last minute calls, we hurry up, we need you now. Realtors, property managers, pretty much all the time. Residential's a little less. They think they need it done right away, and then they see the price or whatever, and then they're like, okay, we're going to wait a little while. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever. But yeah, private matchers, you usually need it within a couple of days. And we're able to handle that because I have 3 crews right now, and during the summer I have 6. So that's not a problem. That's a unique thing. Labor's not a problem for me. I can get the crews, we can get them set up. That's never an issue. That's never an issue now. But yeah, the last minute jobs, those are fun. They're funny because sometimes it's not as big a problem as they lead you onto, or it's a larger problem because I see all that. I mean, after 40 years, I can see, okay, all right, so it's leaking. All right, this is an interior room. It's traveling up in your roof line. We need to go look and see where it's actually coming from. It can travel along a 2x6 on the slope and then drip on the inside of the room.
Interesting.
Yeah. So you gotta, it's learning how the structures work and paying attention to that. So yeah.
Well, let's do a networking deep dive. I would love to find a story of someone you've met networking, how you've been able to develop the relationship, and what you do to keep that relationship strong.
Okay, so that's my electrician that I call all the time.
You want to give him a shout out? Or?
Oh, sure. Bob Dunham. He's Dunham Electrical Edge.
Sure.
Yeah, he's in Greeley. Yeah, Bob's great. That's the one with the house with the electrical issues. I call him all the time for electrical problems.
How did you first meet him?
Oh, through a networking.
Okay.
Master Networkers. That was the once a week one that doesn't work for me. But I met him there. Then he hits the circuit. So I'd seen him a lot in the circuit, and I had him work on my house first. You know, I test people out. I have him work on my house first. I can't tell you how many tile people I've been through before I found one that I like. So I test him out. They did good work. They picked up after they were done. They put tarps done. They followed up. You know, they checked in with me as the job was going on. All those details make a huge difference for me. And I try to stay out of the way. I don't like to be around if I can help it, because I know how that is. I've had customers sit in an armchair and watch us paint.
Oh, jeez.
Literally sit in an armchair and watch us paint the whole job. I think it was 2 weeks.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So Bob's crews are really professional, and they do all that, you know, really. And like I said, follow-up calls.
Yeah.
We contact, we communicate. I am big on communication. I over-communicate, as you know.
Well, I think that's good insight, because like in a networking setting, maybe there's not an opportunity to refer or watch them do business, but you start to build trust. You start to see how they show up. You start to get to the point where you could make that recommendation to, and I think it's also really smart that you highlight it, network with people who are in the circuit.
Yeah.
Because the circuit, the people who are out putting themselves out there networking, they're good listeners. They're hearing different things. So if you can get close to the people who are networking on a higher level or more consistently.
Yeah. Well, Richard Ross is one of those people. He's a CPA, right?
Yeah.
That's a person I would highly recommend, and not had him do any work for me. I've asked him a couple tax questions, but he's been easy to answer. He says, not a problem. I'll answer any question. Not a big deal to me. He has a lot of knowledge about taxes. I asked him a question the other day, and I was like, okay, here we go, the deep dive. We're going to really go into this one. So that's a person I could easily recommend that I've never had any work done. Because, again, circuit, I've seen him a lot in a lot of networking events. I've got to know him a little bit, and I can tell that you can easily trust him. And dealing with payroll and taxes and bookkeeping, that's hard to trust people to do that. I don't do that. So.
Well, who are you looking to meet these days, Thomas, when you're out there networking? Any specific connections that you're looking to solidify or nail down?
I'm looking for more custom builders. I don't do new construction. I'd like some more custom builders. That's a big one. Then you can work individually with them, build a relationship, which takes almost a year when you're working through a job. You got to find all the ins and outs and stuff like that. But I'm looking for custom builders right now, and property managers always.
Right on. Well, if you are a custom builder, if maybe you're looking around watching this podcast and looking at your house a little differently, seeing some things that maybe want to freshen up, how can people get a hold of you? How can people connect with you if they want to hire you or network with you?
Well, I'd love for them to call or text me, 970-444-5003. I always will take the phone call. If I don't answer, I will call you back.
Sure.
And I get that every week. Someone will say, oh, I'm so glad you called me back. I've called 5 painters and no one's answered.
Wow.
I do that. That is my communication. I call you back. I talk to you, or text me. I mean, you can reach me through the website or email, but I like to talk to people. I have no problem answering your questions. That's an opportunity for me to say, hey, what are you looking for? What do you want? Do you need a fresh coat of paint? Are you selling it? Are you buying it? What has been done? What hasn't been done? Are you in the middle of the process? Did you paint half a wall and realize this was too hard and you need my help? And I'll take that job. That doesn't matter to me. So.
Well, right on, Thomas. This was a great conversation. Really appreciate it. I've really enjoyed networking with you, watching how you communicate, how you show up in the network, and really like to see your quality of work. It stands out amongst some of the other stuff that we see. So we'll see you around Northern Colorado, and thanks for coming on Connections That Matter.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Hey all, thanks for watching. I love networking and building relationships with other Northern Colorado business leaders. So if you want to come meet some of these podcast guests, meet me, or meet some other amazing entrepreneurs in Northern Colorado, I would love to have you attend one of our next events. Go in the podcast description. There's a ways that you can see our upcoming schedule, and maybe you could be a future podcast guest as well. Thanks.